Alright team, welcome to episode 5 of my CrossFit Workouts for Beginners program. If you haven't seen the first 4 episodes, links will be in the YouTube description, and I've got 2 free downloads for you. There's a free 6-pack abs program that will take you through some workouts that are going to help you get really strong, developed abs, but obviously you need to have good nutrition alongside it to be able to see visible abs. And there's also a calorie calculator so you can start your own weight loss journey. Change your body composition so you can get the physique that you want. So we've talked about benchmark CrossFit workouts, non-equipment workouts, one skill you need to master lots of the CrossFit movements, and also a typical bodybuilding and strength program to help protect you and keep you strong for CrossFit. And now in the next few videos, I'm going up to 10 videos with this CrossFit Workouts for Beginners program. In these next videos, I'm going to break down all the different elements that you see in CrossFit and how you can improve on all of them. In today's video, we're focusing on powerlifting. Basically, how much weight can you shift on your back from the floor or over your head? Yeah! Bring out the inner beast in you. Powerlifting you typically see in CrossFit is done through conventional deadlift, sumo deadlifts, and the weights that you use can be varying depending on what workouts you're doing. Back squat, front squat, overhead presses, clean and jerks, but I'm focusing not on Olympic lifting in this video, powerlifting. So powerlifting is typically bench press, back squat, and a deadlift, conventional or sumo depending on the competition. But usually in CrossFit they test deadlift, back squat, front squat, and overhead presses. I am missing out a few movements, but I just again want to focus on powerlifting movements that's typically known for powerlifting. Bench press you don't see so much in CrossFit, not exactly sure why. Sometimes they might throw it into a workout, and that's usually using dumbbells from what I've seen. I think at one sanctional event, the Wadapalooza one or 2 years ago. In the CrossFit Games last year or the year before, they did a test which was a back squat 1 rep max, a strict overhead press 1 rep max, and a deadlift 1 rep max, conventional style. And I'm going to tell you how you can get strong at these 3 movements. What I recommend when setting up a powerlifting program alongside CrossFit training is train the movements that you typically see more in workouts and competitions. So you normally see a lot of conventional deadlifting in competitions, back squatting, front squatting, and overhead pressing, variations on overhead pressing as well. So I wouldn't do sumo deadlifts as much because it's just not programmed as much, but you'd still benefit from chucking them in from time to time into your training, just so you've exposed your body to that stimulus, just so it's not something foreign if it were to come up in a workout when you're at a competition somewhere or at the gym. There's nothing worse when a new movement comes up and you're like, I have no idea how to actually perform this movement. When structuring a training program, keep it really simple to start with. I mentioned this in my previous video, but just focusing on powerlifting, 5 sets of 5 with the back squat, the deadlift, and the strict overhead press. Just literally stick to that for the first, say, 4 to 6 weeks. Even 12 weeks focusing on progressive overload. Then you can start incorporating 5 sets of 3 and putting that in alongside the 5 sets of 5. So to start with, you might do 5 sets of 5 on the back squat on a Monday, 5 sets of 5 on the deadlift on a Wednesday, and then on the Friday do 5 sets of 5 strict overhead press. Then over time you can start varying it up and doing 5 sets of 3 some weeks and using heavier weights. Then you can start incorporating different movements like the front squat, but I'm just thinking about beginners here. And then if you're somebody who has done this for a while and you want to try and get stronger, you are very serious about it and you want to try and incorporate lots of different training styles, then I'd recommend that you think about how you can break down any movement. You can change the tempo, the speed, you can change the height, you can change foot placement, hand placement, and tension. So let's take a deadlift for example. Tempo, you can pull off the floor really quickly and then do a very slow controlled lowering, or you can do a 2-second count on the way up and a 2-second count on the way down for each of your repetitions. You can do a touch and go deadlift, or you can do a complete stop deadlift at the bottom. These are just going to target the glutes, quads, hamstrings, and the lower back posterior chain slightly differently with all these different tempos. Height, you can do block pulls, rack pulls with the deadlift, so it just means that the bar starts slightly higher off the ground. You could do that within a squat rack where it has the safety bars, or you can use blocks or something, or different plates to put the bar on. Usually means you can use more weight because the range of motion has shortened, and then it gets your body used to, and your central nervous system used to using a heavier weight. You can do deficit deadlifts, so you actually start by standing on the plate and the bar is lowered down to grab. That's again a good way of getting your body used to using the weights that you'd normally use at a regular height for the deadlifts, because when you go back to normal height, the same weights that you're using should feel a little bit easier. Foot placement for the deadlift, you can do the conventional deadlift, which is a narrower stance, the sumo deadlift, which is a wider stance. Again, not typically seen so much in CrossFit, but sometimes they do include sumo deadlift high pulls for high repetitions in workouts, so you need to still be able to do it. Hand placement, you can do a close, narrower hand grip just to do tempo deadlifts for your cleans, to practice the clean pull, or just doing regular conventional deadlifts. Or sometimes you can incorporate snatch grip deadlifts, so you're doing a really wide hand placement like you would for a snatch, so you can get your body used to using a heavier weight with that wide grip, because then eventually it's going to tie over into a stronger snatch. And then finally, sometimes you can use resistance bands. So what some people do, it's quite hard to set this up, but they might hook it over like a squat rack and put a resistance band on each side of the deadlift bar. So for example, with a resistance band hooked over the top and then underneath, it means that you get more help getting the weight off the floor, and then as the resistance band loses tension, as you bring the weight up, it's going to feel heavier at the top and then easier as it comes down. There are lots of different ways you can vary up these movements, which is going to help with progressive overload and giving your body different stimulus over time, so you can keep seeing results. And just quickly, with the back squat and front squat, you can incorporate paused squats, tempo squats, and box squats where you have to sit on a box as you do it to utilize more weight. And then with overhead pressing, you can include things like strict press, push jerk. So push press utilises a bit more leg drive, whereas with a jerk you're literally trying to jump underneath the bar. But all these different variations are going to help with increasing strength, and then you're going to see more progress over time. And then just to finish off, if you're doing 5 sets of 5 or 5 sets of 3, just a way of being able to build up strength, sometimes it's good from time to time to include things like EMOMs, where every minute on the minute you're adding weight and trying to do the same amount of repetitions, just to get your body used to having to really push heavier weights under the influence of fatigue, because you're going to see that in competitions. Thanks guys for watching the video again. It's great to have you as always. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video and hit that notification bell if you want a virtual pat on the back from me, because you will get it straight away. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Yeah.